Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to understand the state variables and the use state hook in React.js. In the last video, we have seen if normal variable updates in the memory. Let's say this is the normal variable I have initialized. Because of some clicks, let's say the value got updated to Ankit. Okay, because of some clicks means, let's say we have displayed one button. If user will click this button, then internally name will be initialized with Ankit. Okay, this is what we have seen in the last video, guys. So even though in the memory it updates the value, still this updated value you won't be getting on user interface, because when normal variable updates in the memory, React won't re-render the component which is using this variable, guys. So that's why normal variables we cannot use to make our components interactive. We have to make use of state variables. So let's understand how to declare the state variable first. Okay. So usually how we declare the variable? Name, and immediately we will give the initial value like this. Okay. So in state variables, we will not initialize like this, guys. Okay. Rather, we will initialize like this. Observe very carefully. Either of the keyword is must in both the cases. Here also we have to use either of the keyword. In second case also. What is the variable name? Name is the variable name. Then we have to give the state handler. Set name. What is state handler and all you will understand. Have a patience. Next, use the state hook I am using here. Here we have initialized name with Priya, right? So what is the initial value of name? That initial value I'm going to pass here, Priya. Okay. Now let's understand the names of this syntax part. Okay. This is your state variable, not a normal variable. This name is normal, guys. This is your state variable. Just remember the names. Okay. Next, this is your state handler. Okay. This is your hook. Use state hook. And this is used to give the initial value for your state variable. So whatever the name you have passed, in the memory, it will initialize name with the value Priya, guys. Okay. Like this, we usually declare the state variable. State variable, then state handler, and use state hook is used to initialize this state variable with the initial value, whatever you want. If you pass here one number, that number will go and sit into the name. So whichever the type of data you want, you can pass it there. Okay. Okay. So let's create the component now. In the last video, we have seen we were created one greet component, correct? So I'm creating the greet component. So what was the requirement in this greet component, guys? We have to display the greet component like this. First, we have to display one heading for the user. Hello, and initial name will be Priya. Okay. Along with this, we are going to display one button for the user. Let's say on this button, we have displayed click. So when user will click this button, then what should happen? Instead of displaying the Priya, it should display, yes, Ankit. Hello, Ankit, we will consider. So when user will click on that button, what it should display, that I will write it over here. It should display, hello, Ankit. Okay. And the button will be as it is. This button, click, will be as it is. It should not change the button. This is our required output. Okay. So as soon as user will click on this button, what output user should get? This output user should get. Okay. So let's understand now. So this is the function greet. We will initialize now this variable, not by using normal variable, but by using state variable, we will initialize them. Okay. So I'll move little bit to this side. Okay. So look here, everyone. Either of the keyword is must to use. So I'm using let. Okay. Then we have to use the state variables. Let. Inside this bracket, what is the variable name you want to give? Name. Okay. We have to give one state handler Whatever the name of the function you want, you can give here. So I'm giving here, okay, set name. Okay, this name, whatever you want, you can give. Okay, these are identifier. This also you can change however you want. This name also you can change however you want. They are not the keywords, guys. Is equal to, this is your use state hook. What is the initial value of your name variable? It is Priya. So I'm going to pass here Priya like this. We'll close it. That's all. Okay. So we will move this components little bit this side. Okay. This is our required output. Okay, understood. So state variable we have declared, guys. Now what next? Next, we will return the JSX code, whatever we want. So I will be writing return. What you want to return? One H1 heading. Inside that, I will display hello. And whatever is present in this name variable, that it should display hello. This name variable, I will write it. Closing of H1. Then we will give one button also to the user. When user will click on this button, then it should update the state variable. So I will use onClick event over here. When user will click on this button, okay, onClick is equal to which function it should call. So I will call update function. Update function. Okay. In double quotes, I will pass the function name. After that, this is the closing of button. I'm going to pass here click. And this is the closing of button tag. Okay, let me write it properly. It is button. Button tag. Okay. Closing of return statement and finally closing of your greet component. Later we will export it, guys. Okay. So now look here what you are telling. When user will click on this button, then which function it should call? It should call update function. Do you have update function in your component as of now? No. So create the update function. Look here, I am creating const update arrow function we will use is equal to brackets to pass the parameter arrow symbol. Inside this function, I'm going to call my set name state handler. What is the updated value for name you want to pass? Ankit, right? So pass Ankit here. That's all. So next, this is the closing of your update function. So this is your final code, guys. Now we need to understand how it works. Okay. So let's say you have told render greet component on the front end. Okay. So what is greet component is returning? First, it will initialize, see line number 1. It will initialize name variable in the memory. What will be the value of name variable? Priya. Okay, like this. Is this name normal variable now? No, no. This is your state variable, guys. Okay. So this is your state variable which is present in the memory. Okay, understood. On the next line, what you want to return? Hello, and after that one button. So hello, and what is the value of name variable? Priya. So hello Priya will be displayed. This is the first step, guys. And after that, one button with text click will be displayed. You can check it out here. So name and click got displayed. Now let's say user clicked on this button. So when user will click on the button, which function it should call? Update function. So because of user clicked on this function, from here, your control will come to update. In update, I am telling, call the state handler. State handler is responsible to give or to update your state variables, guys. So I'm calling the state handler over here and I'm passing one new value. So this new value will be given to your name variable. So inside your memory now, name is not initialized with Priya, rather name is initialized with Ankit. So now my normal variable got updated in the memory or my state got updated in the memory. State variable got updated in the memory, guys. So wherever you are using that state variable, see, This state variable I'm using here, right? Inside which component this line is present? Greet component, correct? So React will re-render your greet component and you will be getting updated value on the front end. I hope I'm clear with this. Okay. Okay. Next, one more example. We were created the counter component as well, right? Okay. So look here, everyone. I'm creating a function. The function name will be counter component. Inside this, we will initialize count, but not by using normal way, but by using state variable. So let variable name will be count. What is the state handler? Set count you can give or whatever else you want. Update count. Okay, like that something you can do. Next, use state is a hook used to initialize the state variable. What is the initial value of count you want? On front end, how it should display the output, guys? Initially on front end, it should display like this, count. Count. And then it should display 0. Below that, you should have one button plus. So if you click on plus, it should increment this count by +1 and so on. Okay, this is what I want. So what is the initial value of count? It is 0, guys. So inside this use state, you pass the initial value, which is nothing but 0. Okay, done. Variable we have initialized. Now what next? We will return the JSX syntax. Return. What you want to return initially? See, one count and one button, correct? So inside one h1 tag, I will write count, colon. What value should come here? This value, this variable value. So we will write count. This variable value will come over here. And this is the closing of h1 tag. Plus you need one button also here, correct? So just give one button. When user will click on this button, on click event also we will give here only. When user will click on this button, which function it should call? Let's say the function name update only we will give. You can give increase, whatever you want, update. Okay. So now on button, what you want to display? Plus. And this is the closing of your button tag. Okay. Closing of your return, closing of your counter component. Okay. So initially what will happen, guys? When you will tell to the React.js project, render the counter component on the front end. So control will come inside the counter component. It will initialize count variable with the value 0. Is this a normal variable? No, no, no. This is the state of your component, state variable, guys. Okay? Okay. So after that, you are telling return what? This JSX code. So count, what is the value of count in the memory? 0. So count 0 along with one plus button will be returned on your front end like this. So this is the initial value. Let's say now user has clicked on this button. User clicked on the button. So on click, when user will click, which function will be called internally? Update function. Do you have update function? No, right? So create it. I am going to write here const create the update function. Okay. We will pass the parameters if we have any. Inside this, I am going to call set count. Set count. So it should increment this count by +1, right? So we can pass simply here count, plus count. What we can pass? Plus count. So first increment it and then assign it. This is what we call it as a pre-increment. This is the closing of your update. Okay. So how it works? As soon as you will click on this button, update function will be called, which is present here. It will call set count. Set count is responsible to give new value to the state variable. This variable directly we cannot update like this. Okay, count equal to you increment by +1. Like this we cannot write. If you want to update the state variable, you have to make use of state handler only. So to state handler, I'm giving the new value plus plus count. So increment this count by +1 and give the new value over here. So now your count is not holding 0. Your count will hold 1. So React will check, is state updated? Yes. Because of user action, because of user click action, state updated. So which component is using this state count? See, count I'm using here. This statement is present inside counter component. So React will re-render the counter component and the new value will be displayed here. This is the magic of your state variables, guys. One clear rule you should explain in the interviews. What is the rule? When state variable updates because of user action, then React will re-render the component which is using that state variable. As simple as. Then in the interviews, you have to explain the syntax also. What is the state variable? What is the role of state handler? What is use state? Everything we have to explain in the interviews. So now let's type the code practically and let's check the output. I will start sharing my screen. Make sure it is visible to all. Okay. Okay, I guess it is visible, everyone. So from here, I will stop sharing my screen. Okay, perfect. So this is the project which we already have created over here, correct? So open our greet component, everyone. First, we were facing issue with greet component, right? So this is our greet component. Okay. So now inside this, you can check when user will. First, let me drag over here. Okay. We'll save the code. So when user will click on this, update will be called, but normal variable will be updated in the memory. React won't re-render this. So let's replace the declaration of variable from this normal variable to the state variable, guys. Okay. So I'm going to erase this. How to declare the state variable? First, the variable name, comma, next, set name. Whatever the state handler you want, you can give. Next, use state we will use to give the initial value for the name variable. So the initial value will be the Priya. So now this use state we have to import, guys. Okay. So I'm going to import the use state here. Import what? Use state. Okay, from React. We'll save the code. Now when user will click on this, which function it should call? Update. So inside update, I am going to tell you call set name. So we are calling set name. And what should be the value of name now? Inside this, you should not write name is equal to, okay, new value, I need Ankit. Like this, we should not write. Directly, we should pass the new value over here. That's all. So now what will happen? If user will click on this, update function will be called. Update function is present here. What update is doing? It will call state handler. State handler will update the state variable internally. As soon as state variable updates, this whole component will be re-rendered because in this component, we are using this state variable. So let's check it out. Really it is working or not. Okay. So we will change the directory to our project name app and then npm run dev. We'll hit enter. Okay, so we'll just follow the link now. Okay, so now can you check here? We have the click button over here, correct? I will click on this button. Can you check? I got the Ankit. So when state variable updates in the memory, guys, then whichever the component is using that variable, only that component will be re-rendered. Your contact is as it is. Your about component on the front end is as it is. React won't re-render them, guys. Your even counter is there as it is. React won't re-render it. So state variable got updated. But who is using state variable? Your greet component. So your greet component will be re-rendered. So in the similar way, let's do the changes into our counter component as well. Okay. So where it is? Here it is, your counter component. So we will replace the declaration with the state variable. Let the state variable is count. And here I will call set count. What is the initial value of your state variable? Count. The initial value will be 0, guys. Okay. So we have to import the state variable wherever, in whichever the component we are using it. So I am going to write here import. What to import? useState hook. You import it. This hook, wherever you are using, you have to import it. Do remember. Okay. So now, when user will click on this button, which function will be called? Increase function. Increase function is present here. Inside this, we cannot update the state variable like this. So who will update the state variable? State handler will update the state variable. So call the state handler, set count. Okay. What should be the value of this count? I will write first you increment it and then assign it new value to the count variable. That's all, guys. Now if I save the code and if you just go back, just a minute. Okay. So I will go back to the output now. Okay. If I refresh this, now see here, if I click on plus button, see, it is incrementing, guys. Again, plus, 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 plus. So like that, you can give one decrement button also. You can give one reset button also. So as of now, you just understand the complete syntax of state variable properly. Give more focus towards the terms to remember. This is your state variable count. Then this is your state handler. And this is your useState hook, which is required to initialize your state variable. So give more focus towards the syntax. Execute the code, get the output. In the next video, we will implement the new counter component by using this state variables. Okay. So this is all about this video, guys. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you, everyone.